Hey, what's going on, guys? That's not the game that we thought we was going to get. Let's talk about it. So, hey, if you don't know me, my name is Keith. I do Black Quarterback Series, and today is the season finale, or I would say a very anticlimactic season finale of Season 6 Black Quarterback Series, Super Bowl 59. Let's do Patrick Mahomes. He was 21 for 32, 257 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 very critical interceptions. He wasn't sharp. He was not sharp all game. He was not himself. And the reason he wasn't himself is because the Eagles were able to rush four and not really have to do any blitzing. They didn't have to do any blitzing, so that resulted in them getting home with four, and they just made his life a living hell the whole game. Living hell the whole game. Um, it was crazy. I've never seen Patrick Mahomes flustered and running for his life like this since the last Super Bowl. But that was a little different. He didn't have none of his offensive line. He didn't have none of his offensive line at that time. I think all of them had got hurt against the Super Bowl against Tampa. Ironically, Brady's in doing the Super Bowl. Ironically, so this has been Kansas City all year for the most part. They have been living on Patrick Mahomes being special and that great defense and the fact that they could just do just enough to win. They could do just enough to win and they would be okay. They fell into a buzzsaw. The Eagles came out and did what they were supposed to do. I wouldn't say did what they were supposed to do, but the Eagles came out, punched them in the mouth, and they were never able to recover. They were never able to recover from that. They were so behind. Just full transparency. I had a lot of stuff. I had to get the food and everything for the family, blah, blah, blah. And so I didn't get home to sit down and watch this game until it was already 7-0. So everything from 7-0 on, I didn't know. So obviously I didn't miss much. I listened to a little bit of it, but I didn't get the full scope. So it was 7-0. I got home, watched it. Then it became 14-0. And then it was 21-0. And then it was 27-0. And at that point, I kind of knew it was over, but it's Patrick Mahomes. It's Patrick Mahomes. So you're kind of like, okay, when are you going to come back? Are you going to come back? Are you going to come back? So you're sitting there thinking like, man, Patrick Mahomes has a chance to come back if he gets it together. Never got it together. Philadelphia's defense never gave him an opportunity to get it together. And they lose the Super Bowl in absolutely destructive fashion. I'm talking about destructive fashion. It was bad. It was bad for them. Kelsey didn't do much. He's aging. Andy Reid's aging. So you have to think how long can this iteration of the Kansas City Chiefs do it. I think they'll still make a run next year. I don't know if they'll make the Super Bowl next year, but they will still have an opportunity to make a run this next year. But this was not very good. I knew at some point the clock was going to strike midnight and Kansas City was going to look like this, but wow. So on the Eagles front, absolutely spectacular game plan on the offense and the defensive end. Jalen was 17 for 22, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, rushed for a touchdown, 72 yards. So he did a little bit of everything. And I'm not sure. I didn't check to see who was the MVP, but I'm almost positive Jalen Hurts was the MVP. Supreme game management. He ran when he ran, passed when he passed. He set everybody up to be successful. Cam Newton talks about game changers and game managers. I'm assuming he might say Jalen is a game manager. I'm not sure. I don't know how he feels about that, but this is the top level of what you're supposed to do as an NFL quarterback. You go back there, you do what you're supposed to do. You check your ego. Like Jalen Hurts is just, he's what you want in a football player. Jalen Hurts is just what you want in a football player. Two of his best games have came in the biggest moments. His best game to this point was the last Super Bowl that they played against the Eagles. Last Super Bowl they played against Kansas City and they fumbled it. Y'all know how that went. But this game, none of those mistakes. He threw an interception. It was an underthrow. Didn't really affect much because The Philadelphia Eagles was just playing out of their mind. They were just playing out of their mind. And Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Saquon Barkley, who didn't have a good game. And I said in my review of the keys to victory for the Kansas City Chiefs, you can check it if you want to. It's kind of irrelevant, but you can check it if you want to. I said they had to have Saquon under 150. They have to make Jalen Hurts pass it. They did both of those things and still lost because the Philadelphia Eagles played one hell of a game. They played one hell of a game. So shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. You already know if anybody was going to win for me personally, this is personal. If anybody was going to win other than my guy Lamar, I would rather have it to be Jalen. Just an upstanding citizen. Just I love me some Jalen Hurts. Just the adversity and everything he's came with. I was going to put his press conference at the beginning of this video, but that audio is a little weird, and I didn't want to give that to you guys. So, shout out to Kellen Moore for getting that job in New Orleans, and this is the way to go out. This is a way to go out. You hang 40 on the Super Bowl champions. The final score was 40-30. No, it was 40-22. Just an absolute masterclass. Absolute masterclass. And one thing before I go, we'll talk about the Kendrick performance. So Kendrick performed. He was okay. It was okay. There's a lot of symbolism there. So I guess if you're really into symbolism and things like that, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is great. But for me, it was okay. It was okay. It didn't make me want to go see him live like that for real. But somebody made a good point. He has to perform for the masses, so he can't do what he really wants to do in those types of he can't perform money trees. You know what I mean? He can't perform the deep cuts. So yeah, that's true. But it was okay. It was okay. It was an okay performance. I think the weekends was better. Super Bowl performance, but hey, it was a great performance. It was a great performance for what it was worth. But for me personally, it was okay. I'm never gonna go revisit and go rewatch it. So, but it was cool. It was a decent performance. We didn't see Taylor Swift much because Kansas City got their doors beaten in, so we didn't see them much. So, this has been a great season. I learned a lot this season. It's going to be a lot more elevation next season because this season was about a lot of elevation. Yeah, this is a great season. So the party not stopping. We're gonna have some more videos this summer and going into next week. We got some stuff to talk about. Jalen Hurts being top 5. Where do Patrick Mahomes go from here? And all the teams that lost. We're gonna talk about those just the way we talked about the teams that didn't make the playoffs. So stay tuned for all that. It's gonna be an interesting few weeks as we round up to do off-season stuff as we enter the draft. So thanks for watching. Whether it was this is your first time watching, you watched all the time, shout out to Black Civilization. Whether it's one person watching or 20 person watching, I love what I do. So I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.